Hello everyone, Croc Hunter 99 here, and today on Reptile Planet I'll be showing you how to care for one of the more easier pets to take care of in the pet trade, which is the bearded dragon. Now, bearded dragons are easy animals to take care of, I can tell you that much, but they do require a lot of care and attention. As with all animals, like you'll see with my buddy here, that's Torch. He was actually the first bearded dragon that I got as a pet. Wasn't really that bad. I actually wanted a pet lizard. I was hopefully trying to go for a leopard gecko, but turns out I tried to go for something a little better. So I will show you a few care tips that you'll need and for carrying these guys. Now, I'll give you 10 steps, 10 easy steps that way you'll be able to be prepared to take care of these guys and also be able to give them the care and kindness that they want. I'll start with step 1. Alright guys, your first step is to set up. Now, their setup is very simple. As hatchlings, you can get them in a 20-gallon terrarium, which is that is very excellent for them to start out with. A lot of space to run around and a lot of spaces like go to, bask. Now, once you get a 20-gallon tank, like you see the one behind me, now that is an excellent beginner setup. And then as they get older, you can move them to a bigger enclosure. But I'll tell you right now, the one I have right here, it is a 55-gallon tank that I currently moved them in. That would be able to have much further space for him to go around in. That actually turned out really, really well, and it's still working well. So that is definitely two things you will need is a setup. And now I will move you on to step 2. Alright you guys, now it's time for step 2. Now step 2 is definitely the lighting. Now, bearded dragons do come from Australia. They do range from an arid to a semi-arid desert area. So you want to mimic that. The temperature should be around 90 to 100 degrees with that as their daytime basking spot. And on the other side, it should be around in the mid 70s. That way they have a cool place to cool off. You will need lighting, which I have right here. A spectrum light you can use as their basking spot, and you do need a red light for their nighttime. And red light is definitely important. That we be able to turn off the daylight and turn on the night light for different sets of hours. UVB is definitely important. For the other side, that makes the temperature go up to around the 70s, and it does give them the UVB lighting that they use when they bask in the sun. So you do want to mimic that, which is very, very important. Alright, so lighting is definitely important for these guys. That would be able to help them get active during the day, and also help digest their food, and also absorb the minerals and calcium that they require in their food. Alright guys, now it's time for step 3. Alright you guys, time to move you on to step 3. Now step 3 is very, very easy. Is now the substrate. Now you can use pretty much any kind of substrate. People tend to probably use newspaper, probably paper towels. You can easily use something much more easier like the Repta carpet. That's basically what I used the first time. But people also use the Repta sand, like you can see at the bottom of the enclosure. I did use the sand as a substrate that would be able to like give it that desert look. But you can use a repta carpet. Doesn't really matter. You can use either one. And also you can probably also decorate it. You can add some trees they can climb on to like get up to that basking spot. You also add a log for them to sleep in, or probably sleep on. That's right. Like you can do whatever you want. They also will require a lot of other stuff. You also need a food dish and a water bowl for them, which is about to move you on to step 4. Alright guys, now on to step 4. Their diet is very, very important. They are omnivores. They do require both vegetables and meat, so you can actually feed them insects around from mealworms to crickets to their vegetable diet, which you can feed them grapes, strawberries, spinach, fruits, anything that also will continue to diet. You do need to dust it with calcium powder that like gives it their minerals, so it helps the dragon become more healthier and actually grow faster. Now, that's what the food bowl and the water dish is for. They do require both of them. As you can see on the right side of the cage, I actually put the food dish there, and the water bowl is actually on the other side of them. You can see it. Now, that's actually a new type of water dish I got on before because the other one kept getting dirtied up, so I kept having to replace it. But fresh water is very, very important. You do have to change water daily so they have fresh water. Now, the water bowl I got in them is actually with a bottle attached. That way, if the water goes low, there's already extra spares of water ready to sink into the bowl. That way, have fresh water every day till it runs out. Now that is very awesome. That way I don't have to change it frequently, but I'll still change it every day, just like they keep the rule of thumb keep going. So yeah, the water is very, very important, and the food is very, very important. So they do need that. All right, now on step 5. All right, guys, step 5. Actually, step 5 is actually very, very, very important. Is actually to do your research before you own any pets. You have to actually that should have been the first thing. Actually, the first thing you always should do is do your research, but you can probably do it like if you like try to get experience from someone else telling you about how bearded dragons do make good pets. That is definitely a good way to start out, but always do your research before you own any pet, because if you don't know about it and you do all the wrong things, then that's just gonna cause problems even with the pet. That means they probably won't get their proper feeding. They probably won't get proper needs that they need. So it's best to do your research before you own any pets. That is very, very important. Always do that, and always make that your first priority that you need to do. All right, now moving on to step 6. All right, guys, now step 6. For step 6, you actually want to. This actually should be the last step. Sorry, but this step might come in handy when it's the beginner end. Doesn't really matter. If you own any pet, it's always best to clean the cage probably like every other day. Always clean out the substrate, probably replace the sand, clean up the leftover food, and clean up the when the dragon does his business, always be able to clean that up. So yeah, it's always good to clean the cage about probably every other day or so. They keep the cage shiny, new, and actually clean. So yeah, and also make sure if the bulb blows out, then always have it prepared, have another one always ready to go. And clean the cage daily, and then just continue on from there. Clean every probably like like every other day or so. As if it dirties up again, then just clean it again, and then replace each bulb if it goes out. That way, there'll be no problems. All right, now it's time to move you on to step 7. All right, guys, step 7. Once you have all your requirements there and ready, about probably the next day or probably like next day, you're actually ready for your bearded dragon. You have all your stuff set up. You have the cage, lighting, substrate, their food and water ready, and then you are ready for them. Actually, before you, that's my question. Before you put, I don't want advise to put the food in first. I would like you wait on that to actually get the actual bearded dragon. So I'll probably like wait on that. Probably should have said that in the first place, but now you know. Just probably wait on that before you put insects in the cage. You probably want to get the dragon first. All right. Step 7. We have all your requirements. Next day, you can actually get the dragon itself. Now, they are found in pet stores, probably Petco, PetSmart. You can order them online from local pet breeding facilities. Your choice. They do come in a variety of morphs, which you can also house. They are silkies, Italian leatherbacks, all that good stuff. I've been hearing about some leucistics that actually are very, very great. All right. Once you have all your requirements, all your stuff set up, now all that's left is the dragon itself. You're actually ready to go down to the pet store and actually get the bearded dragon officially. Now, bearded dragons do get very large, get around 2 feet long, which is probably like a good size for a dragon this big. They are very, very tame. They are docile animals, but the most common bearded dragon that's kept in the pet trade is the central bearded dragon. They are very, very docile. Like I said, some are individuals, so it's also always a good starter pet for you to have. Now, these guys are amazing. People even nickname these guys lounge lizards. You can actually sit around with them on your shoulder, on your lap. You even take them out for a drive or a walk. I mean, these guys just make awesome pets. All right, now on to step 8. All right, guys, now it's time for step 8. Step 8. Anytime you get like a pet reptile, it's always a good idea to let them get used to their enclosure. So give them about 4 days before you start handling. Let them get used to where they are. Let them adjust to their new environment. So give them like 4 days before you start handling them. That would be able to get used to like where they are. And then after 4 days, you can probably begin feeding them and handling them. They are very tolerant. Younger ones, they are quick, so I would be careful of them. They are, as youngsters, they are very, very quick, but as they get older, this fact is actually very, very true. Bearded dragons are actually very, very lazy animals. They do like to just sit around, like probably do nothing, probably go to sleep every once in a while during the day, probably like go to sleep during the night. It's actually really good. So these guys are actually very, very lazy animals, so I wouldn't actually worry about it trying to get out or anything. But yeah, it's also a good idea to let them adjust to their new environment. So give them 4 days, and then you can start feeding and handling them. And now on to step 9. Alright guys, step 9. Like, if you're planning on breeding these guys, there are some things that I might want to go over. It's never a good idea to house 2 males in the same cage because fighting will break out. So if you want to introduce cage mates, it's probably a good idea to introduce them slowly. If your bearded dragon's been housed alone the entire time and you just got another one, and when placed in the same cage as your first one, it's better. Probably just a good idea to try to introduce them slowly. So don't just rush it because you don't want either of them to get hurt. Or you don't want like a battle to break out inside the enclosure. So yeah, never house two males together. It's always like more common to have one male and probably multiple females. So that's basically a better go. And plus, the more big dragons you have, the bigger the enclosure has to be, or you have to put them in separate tanks. Because if you put too many in one enclosure, it'll get overcrowded. All of them might not be able to like get their food before everyone else does. So yeah, it's best to either keep probably like maybe two. Probably two is probably better because you probably don't want to overload the cage with too many. So it's probably best to have two. If you plan on breeding them, then juveniles can actually be housed together until they get older. Then all the males gotta be separated, and you can keep females with males, which makes it much more common to keep multiple males in the same cage. So that's basically better than housing like two males in the same cage with multiple females in the same place. So really think about what you're doing. So it's better to have one male, one female in one cage, and if you breed them up, if there's not enough room, then put them in separate cages, which is so that makes it much more safer for all of them. So no one will get hurt. All of them will have their all of them will be able to get fed, and they'll all be healthy animals. All right, and now on to the last step, which is step 10. Alright, you guys, the last step and the very last step in owning bearded dragons is to give them a lot of attention, handle them daily, and also enjoy. Since, like I said before, these guys do make great, and I mean great beginner pets, it is always a good idea to handle these guys daily because that's how they tame down. They are wonderful, wonderful animals to have in your home. And believe me, you won't have a doubt about it of making this choice because this is a very good choice to make. And these guys do make awesome pets, so be sure to handle them daily. Give them lots of attention, feed them regularly, and just enjoy. You'll be able to have a lot of fun with your new companion. These guys are wonderful, wonderful animals to keep, and they do make. And that's why they're in the top 10 of the greatest beginner pets to have. So these guys sometimes rank number 2, sometimes these guys rank number 1. I rank these guys both. Like, they do make good pets, they're very docile, very friendly. They do accept human handling, but it's always a good idea to handle these guys every single day. And I have no doubt in my mind that these guys will continue to become popular pets in the pet trade. And I hope that breeders will actually continue to make cool mutations and keep the reptile program up. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like on it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Cutter99. This is Reptile Planet. Now see you next time. This is Reptile Planet. And let's do it. Say goodbye, Torch. Alright, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.